Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Irish Zone Live. I am your host, Noel. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. First of all, I just want to thank everybody that tuned in to watch our first Get It Off Your Chest stream on the second channel. I'm absolutely blown away by all of the support. And also, I just want to thank all of the contributors yet again. It was absolutely fantastic, and thank you for taking part. We will be back on Friday on the second channel for another stream of Get It Off Your Chest. So hopefully we'll have a few more numbers in with us. But as I said, the people that came on were absolutely amazing. Also, I want to thank everybody here as well for getting the channel to 5,000 subscribers. I'm absolutely blown away by the amount of support that I have received since I start this, and you know it gives me encouragement that I know I'm not alone out there in the thoughts and the feelings that I have about what's going on in this country. So I just want to thank you all. Also, 1.2 million views in 28 days. These are absolutely crazy, but do you know what? Again, I just have to say I thank you all down to the bottom of my heart for all the support that you have shown me. It really means a lot. So let's get into it straight away. So as you've seen there from the intro video, I decided to put the two headlines that I want to talk about and give my opinion on, because I'm going to start off with the left in this country. Now, we heard after the local and European elections that the media had reported that the left in this country were going to come together to stop the so-called imaginary far right from doing anything politically in this country. Now, I've seen a couple of posts, and you know me, I don't hold back, right? But I've seen a couple of posts, and this is why I want to talk about this, because I'm just going to say something here and again give some people a bit of a reality check. You probably haven't seen what's happened in France. Now, Le Pen did very well in the first round of the French elections, but then the left over there decided they were going to come together, and Le Pen has been beaten now. On top of that, now she's being investigated for her last campaign because apparently of some financial irregularities and all of this, right? And I saw someone that put up a post to say that if the left in this country join together, they're done. And I just was like, is this person for real? Are they that deluded, or do they really believe that? Because this is the complacency that I'm talking about. While the rest of Europe in local and European elections swung to the right, if you analyse Ireland's local and European elections, and after some of the national independent candidates coming out now and siding with the left, you will see that this country swung further to the left than most of Europe. So to make the claim that if the left get together in this country, it's the end of the left, you're absolutely deluded. You're absolutely deluded. The bottom line is that the left in this country, right, are going to get together, right? And that's the difference between them and nationalists. And this is why I've been given out. I was called a grifter the other day, but it made me think, someone said to me that it's very easy for you to come on and give out but you haven't offered solutions. And I says, I've offered plenty of solutions on my YouTube channel and on Spaces and on my Twitter account. Right? Nobody's listening. Lots of people out there have offered solutions, but nobody is listening. If the right in this country don't come together, the left is going to absolutely decimate us in the next election, without a shadow of a doubt. And I am just baffled that there's a lack of complacency or there's delusion in this movement, right? The left are going to win in this country either way. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, what do you think they are? Their policies are more left-wing. So to make the claim that it will destroy the left in this country is absolutely bonkers, right? Because Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael are leading the next government in the next general election. That's a given. Now, whether it's the two of them coalescing with another party or one of them outright gets the mandate, which they won't, right? So it's going to be another coalition. Probably won't be a coalition with the Greens. Might be a coalition with Labour, maybe Social Democrats, right? So this whole thing that it's going to destroy the left in this country, you're wrong. It's not going to destroy the left in the country. It's going to make them stronger. And if we see, and you've seen what's happened in France, Germany, Belgium, they've all fallen. Look at London. Look at what they've done. Look what the people of the UK did. They voted in Labour, right? Left-wing party, right? So don't be getting complacent here and thinking because it's happened in Europe that it's not going to happen here. And this is the thing that is annoying me and getting me frustrated. We're no different, all right? It's going to happen here. And if the nationalists in this country don't get their act together, well, then you just have to look at London, right? I put up a post the other day, right? And I'm just going to say this, actually. I'll just say it out straight. You look at what Tommy Robinson has done over in the UK, right? He's called multiple protests, yeah? But where did the protests get them? Nowhere. Labour Party is in now, right? I showed you the post. There's 1 million Muslims in London. 1 million in London, right? So English nationalists are protesting. Irish nationalists are protesting, right? Now, you think Irish nationalists would look what's happening in the UK, see the stuff that Tommy Robinson and other people have done and says, you know what, that's not working. Maybe we need to do something different. And people like me, Eric English, and plenty on X, plenty here and on YouTube have given solutions, have given ideas, put ideas forward on how we could do things differently in this country. Right? Now, someone says, get to the national protest. I'm not going to the national protest. It's a waste of time. And it is a waste of time. Right? I'm not going to discourage anybody from going. That's not my place. Right? But I'm not going because it's a waste of time. Right? You see what happened in the UK? That's happening here. Right? Because all they did over there was protest. Right? Protesting is not good enough. Right? The difference with the UK as well is they left until it was too late. Nobody would listen to Tommy Robinson. The difference is we actually have an advantage here where there are people listening to us now. Right? But the solution here from Irish nationalists, let's call a national protest. Something happens, national protest. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Many people have said we have to start getting into the communities now. We have to start spreading the nationalist message across this country before the next general election, or we are absolutely screwed, because the left will come together in this country to stop the imaginary far right in this country, because it is imaginary. It's not far right. These are people that have common sense, right? Anybody that wants sensible migration or wants people removed from the country that commit crimes are sensible people. That's us, all of us. Right? The rest of them are the lunatics. Right? But protesting, you just have to look at the UK. They're further along than us. Right? But they won't be for long. because I'll get into the next part of this, which is the 80% rise in migrants coming to Ireland since last year. But we'll get into that in a minute, right? But this whole delusion needs to stop now. We are in serious trouble in this country if nationalists don't come together. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, right? Because the left are got, look, here's the day that people don't realise, right? The left will do anything to win. They will do anything. Look at what France did. Look what the president did. Look what he did to stay to keep the right out in France. Right? He was willing to give power to the left, and now they're talking about a 90% tax rate on millionaires over there. I mean, they're going to bankrupt the country anyway. There'll be another general election over there in the next year or two anyway. Watch. The left over there will go overboard. But the left here in Ireland won't. They're smart. They've already proven that. That's why they've been able to cling on to power the way they have. But the complacency in this nationalist movement is mind-boggling. And I'm telling you now, that protest is a waste of time. We should be getting all over the country. We should be getting into communities all over the place, right? But instead, we're just getting everybody to come to Dublin. And for what? To listen to the same speeches, right? And obviously, they'll talk about the incidents that happened recently. But the thing about it is the whole country knows. Someone says, well, these protests are good because it informs people. But if people are not informed in the country by now, well, then they'll never be informed, right? But if you want to inform people in the country and you want maximum exposure, well, then you get into the communities, don't you? That's what you do. So it won't be the end of the left in this country. And anybody that's spreading that bullshit is absolute either is living in cloud cuckoo land, is deluded, or just isn't intelligent enough to grasp what's in front of them. Germany has fallen, UK has fallen, France has fallen, Belgium has fallen, right? And how did they all fall? The left came together in those countries and made sure to keep out the imaginary far right in all of those countries. And somehow, right, they're doing the same thing here, but some people in this movement think it's going to be different in Ireland. It's going to be no different in Ireland. Now, there's a lot of frustration out there. People need to start listening. Everybody has offered solutions, right? Listen, everybody knows I tried to help. I tried to do it on my own initiative. But because I'm not certain people, nobody wanted to know, right? So that's the frustrating thing for me, is I actually can't do anything about it because I've tried. And I've been told, no, you're not welcome. Bye-bye. We'll deal with it ourselves. All of this other stuff. Right? And to a certain level, I understand it. But at the same time, I'm saying to myself, well, this is no time to be paranoid and this, that, and the other. We don't have time. We don't have time. Which gets me now quite nicely to me next point, which is the 80% rise in migrants coming to Ireland. 80%. Now some are reporting 87, but it seems to be the figure seems to be 80. But if it's 80, 87, it doesn't matter. It's 80 or 87% too many. Now, apparently the majority of them, this is what they're saying, the media, which you couldn't trust with a barge pole, to be quite honest with you. They're saying that most of them are from Ukraine. They're temporary. apparently. We should be blocking Ukrainians coming here now. We've got enough of them anyway. They should be all sent home. Um, so yeah. So as I said, it continues to migrants will continue to come into the country. That number, I think it's 6,000 and all or something extra, whatever it is. That'll double next year. Actually, it'll probably double by the end of the year. Remember, we're only in July. So that 80%, right, by the end of the year, I'm pretty sure will be over 100%. And that's what we're dealing with. And Helen McEntee actually announced that, you know, some of the elements that need to be in place for this migration pact will take 2 years to implement. So, you know, they're continuing, right? And she believes, like all of them, that they're going to be in government. And they more than likely will be. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So they're going nowhere. She knows, she put the 2-year time frame out, knowing full well next general election, the government either way, or a party will be part of a government, and they'll still continue to implement all of this stuff. And 2 years into their new term, they will have those processes in place. And then for the next 3 years, then after that, then, well, the floodgates are already open, but let's just say, you know, it's a free for all. And then 5 years from now, this country and the landscape completely different. So I go back to me point, you know, we're gone past protesting now. We're gone past talking. We need to be getting into the communities now before it's too late. Some believe it's already too late. They're probably right. But I like to be optimistic. I still believe we can win this. And you know, some people say, well, they have nationalists have worked their socks off. Absolutely, they have. And they can never be criticized for not putting the work in. But unfortunately, whether they like it or not, this is where now the real work actually begins. All of that before was piss in the wind. This is the real thing now. This is the real test. There has to be some sort of organization, some sort of plan moving forward. You know, because by the time the protest comes along, Clonmel could be planted. Then what's the point in the protest? Do you know what I mean? Thornton Hall talks about Thornton Hall again. I saw yesterday on X. You know, Knock has gone quiet, but you know, people have been to Knock. You know, this is going on now. They've moved the tents that were in the city centre. They've put up more barriers. But where are all those migrants going to go now? So, you know, as I said, we need to be doing some more. And as I said, look right now, right. I'm at to do me back in, right. I've got one of those heat patches on. I'm at to crippling me fucking back, right. But that makes no difference, man. If I have to be out there, I'll be out there. Do you know what I mean? But that was the news talk thing, because after my accident, I suffer with my legs. You know what I mean? I'm not supposed to be standing for as long as I was standing. Do you know what I mean? Because I did some damage to my legs and my back. Right. In reality, when I got there, I should have had one of those folding chairs maybe with me and sat down. But I didn't. I was filming and stuff and holding up the placards and the marching. So it's after catching up on me. But the thing about it is, I'll go out there. If I'm needed tomorrow, I'll go out there tomorrow, not even if my back is fucking crippled. I'll take me painkillers. I'll put whatever I need to put on my back, but I'll be out there. But we got to be doing more. Because, listen, complacency is what's... Listen, I said it. We lose this because of us. Right? I said it numerous occasions now. Twice we've had the momentum, and twice we've just let the momentum go away. Right? After the general election, right, there should have been stuff done all over the country. Right? But no, they waited for a few days or a few weeks or whatever it was, and then they called a protest. And they let all of that momentum go. And this is what I'm saying. You know, it's the same in England. Tommy Robinson will call a protest, they'll get a bit of momentum, and then there's nothing. And we've seen what's happened now in the UK. So if we get complacent here and think that we have this in the bag and that the left joining together is somehow going to destroy them, well then, as I said, you're either deluded or you just can't see what's happening around you, or you're in denial. Has to be something, because it's clear that Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael are leading the next government. And this is the thing. He's like getting into government this general election. He's never were. Right? But what you could have done is get yourselves in a position this general election to be ready for the next general election. This is why it's important to put disagreements and ego aside, and as I said, form some sort of alliance. And, you know, as I said, run candidates all over the country, but don't run candidates against each other. Right? Sit down, have a meeting. Where do you think that a certain party will get votes in and will do well in? And you just strategize like that. And then in the meantime, then you hold community events and stuff like that all over. Right? And while you're there, the kids face painting, all of that other stuff, and stuff for the adults, then you can have people then handing out leaflets and stuff with information on it. People say I don't offer solutions and stuff like that. I've offered plenty of solutions, but as I said, I tried to do all of this by myself, and I was told no. I was told no. Right? If I wasn't told no, I wouldn't be on here giving out about it. I'd be out there, actually. Right? I wouldn't even be on here. I'd be out there doing what I have to do, but I was told no. Because if I'm not a certain person or a certain group, right, then nobody gives a fuck. And that's why I'm frustrated, because you think these people will be coming up with the ideas, the ones that everybody listens to. But their idea is something happens, protest. Right? That's the answer to everything in this country. Same in the UK, and look what happened then. Protest, protest, protest. They don't work. They got us to a certain point, great. The country's aware what's happening. The people in the country are aware, or unless they've had their heads buried in the sand the last couple of years, right? Everybody's aware. So now the whole point is you get into those communities and you let these people know there's a better alternative to Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Social Democrats, Labour, Green Party, you know, or Ireland First, the Irish Freedom, whoever it is, you know, here's another alternative. This is what we stand for. And you know, you have all these themed events, as I said, like street parties, face painting for the kids, all of that. Parents will always bring their kids to an event, right? Because kids love stuff like that, right? And especially, I know we haven't had much of a summer, but especially during the summer, the parents like to bring their kids. If they can't afford a holiday, they like to take their kids to stuff like that, and that's what we should have been doing all summer. Now, I've got a friend in the nationalist movement that did a couple of picnics in the Phoenix Park, right? And they were highly successful. So they work, right? My issue is that after they were successful, nobody else picked up on her idea and thought, do you know what, this would be a great thing to run with. And then what was happening? People were there, right? People were walking by. They were interested to see what was happening. They'd go over and say, oh, what's going on here? And then conversations were started. And that's what we need to be doing. We've got Tank Inc. in the chat, and we've got Michael Nolan in the chat as well. Welcome. We've got 40 people over the 3 platforms watching. Thank you. We're live on X, YouTube, and Facebook. So welcome everybody. And don't be shy. Leave a comment. Actually, I'll ask the guys that are in the chat there. I'll ask you, anybody that's listening, I'll ask you a question if you want to come in to the chat and give you our answer. I'll read it out. But yes, I've heard my opinion on what I think nationalists should do to benefit the movement going forward and to be in a stronger position for the next general election, not this one, but the next one, but put ourselves in a good enough position, this one, to be capable of doing something the next general election. So I'll ask you people that are listening, what do you think nationalists have to do to defeat the government and the left in this country? Now, I've given, as I said, not only here, on Spaces, on my X account, I've given plenty of ideas, plenty of things that we could do. Eric English is the same. Right? There's plenty of people out there that have come up with really, really good ideas. You know, even bringing back their culture and stuff like that, teaching their kids about Irish culture. You know, I remember in school, they used to teach you how to make the crosses. Do you remember? St. Bridget, wasn't it St. Bridget? The crosses, right? They used to teach you that stuff and all. I don't know if they still do today in schools now. I wouldn't know, because obviously it's been a long time since I've been in school. But all of that, you know, our culture and our heritage are a very big thing. We lose that, then, you know, we're not Irish anymore, really. So I don't know. It's just the longer this goes on, the window of opportunities to capitalize, I think the momentum is already gone. But I mean, maybe we can create some momentum if we get into communities. But we need to do something more than protests. So I'm not going to the protests because, as I said, it's a waste of time. That day, I will be somewhere else. That's my plan. I'm going to go to a different location somewhere in the country and highlight what's going on there, because that's what's important. That's what's important. getting everybody to go up to Dublin when you can basically, you know, someone all, say all the things that I've said, set up all of these community events and all of that, we would have much better success. So, yeah, Sass says protesting is not working that much. We know. Well, it's not. You just have to look at what happened in the UK. It's not. You just have to look at what happened in France. Protesting is not working, right? It's not. And I get criticised quite a lot. And I will say this, I've been quite sensitive the last couple of weeks, but I'm gonna snap out of that shit because I'm used to. I see. I get it on the other channel and I ignore it, so I don't know why I don't ignore it here. But I am going to ignore it. But I will say this, right? When people are attacking you like that, you're onto something, right? I hate all of these people that are on social media, right? That keep coming out with these type of fucking ridiculous claims that they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to win and the left are going to all of this. Like, just look what's happening around Europe. I'm sorry, but even in the local and general, your local and European elections, we swung more to the left. You have to wake up before it's too late, right? And as I said, protesting got us to a certain point, right? But after that, then that's where all the fucking strategizing and coming up with solutions should have came, but it didn't. But it didn't. So as I said, I tried to take it upon myself to do something, guys. Right? We even spoke about it here on the channel. Everybody knows. I don't have to mention what all about it. If people have been following me, they already know. I tried to take the initiative and I tried to do something myself. And I called everybody to go and support the people in Clonmel. And I was going down there. I had the date set. And then what happened? Some people in Clonmel decided to make some videos and basically attack me. Right? Now, some have since then apologized. So it's water under the bridge. But this is what I'm dealing with. If it doesn't come from certain people, they don't want to know. They don't want to know. So that's the frustrating thing for me. I've actually tried to do something about it and start off in Clonmel and work my way around the country. That was my plan. But I was told no. I was told we don't want outsiders. We don't want trouble risers. We don't want to raise tensions. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. Some of it I can understand. But as I said to one person, listen, this is not the time to be getting paranoid and to be wondering who's this, that, and the other. We haven't got time for that. But that's what the left have done very well. They've infiltrated as well some of these communities. This is the thing, right? And as I said, remember, right, there are internal and external forces working against us in this country and working against communities. And they've been sabotaged, some of them. And that was my idea, to get in there, inspire people, try and inspire them, come up with ways that we could, get the community more involved, right? I wasn't going down to dictate to anybody. I just wanted to go down there and lend a hand and say, listen, I have a few ideas if these are open to listening, things that we could do to get the community more aware. And if you are willing to listen, then I would tell them, that's what I wanted to do. Right? So that's the frustrating thing for me, is that I tried to do something and I was told no. And then I have people then criticizing me, telling me, well, it's easy for you to criticize. You haven't come up with any solutions. Yes, I have. And I've even actually been willing to go out there. I even called a protest and I was told no. So what more can I do? Right? So that's the thing. And as I explained to one of them, all I want to do is help. And what the frustrating thing about me is I do have some solutions and I do have some good ideas. They may not all work, but at least I'm fucking trying something. Or I'm trying to get everybody to fucking listen. But as I said, you know, if you're not certain people in this movement and you're not the one that's saying that, if you're not one of them, well then it doesn't matter what solution you come up with, nobody's going to listen to you. And that's the sad thing about this, because that's why we're going to lose this air country. You know, this is what's happened over the decades though. The governments over the last few decades have successfully separated us all the counties, all the communities. We're all fragmented. It's all fractured, right? It's all fractured. And we need to put that jigsaw piece together again and try and get communities to be working together. And that's the key here. You know, once one community starts something like community event, it's infectious, man. But you get in there and you help it along. That's the whole point. You know, the left are doing that. They're trying, listen, they have the youth, right? And this is why they're going to win. But we've got to counter that now, right? We've got to counter that. And we have to be doing a lot more. I know there are people out there that are setting up youth stuff and all of that, right? And that's great. That's the beginning. But we need to be getting into the communities, as I said, you know, and you remember there's a lot of people in this country that have probably never voted before, or people that don't know how to vote and just vote for the same old because it's a safe option, right? As I said, we've got to convince these people, look at, you know, the safe option's not working anymore. Look what the safe option has done to you. It squeezed you for every penny. You are living on the breadline. And then on top of that, then, they're doing all the stuff that they're doing and they're putting stress on, you know, our hospitals, our schools, all the stuff that we rely on in this country. B says, protests are pointless. We need Irish people out moving these tents and back to the airport. Communities are being ruined. Every estate is full of refugees and council houses. Poland has the right idea, says Liam Malloy. Am I still blocked? No, you're not. There you go. You're back. At first, I couldn't find your name and I was panicking a little bit, but welcome back, Emmanuel. And by the way, absolutely fantastic contribution over on the other channel. I just spoke about it before I came on live, or when I came on live first. It was absolutely fantastic. We got a lot of views on that stream. Went down well with everybody, and everybody loved your contribution, by the way. So I just want to thank you for that. And as I said, thank everybody for the 5,000 subscribers on here as well. These are absolutely fantastic. Poland made it very hard. Its borders is closed off. Well, as I said, you know, in Ireland, unfortunately, we're in the position where the country is divided, you know. And there's only two solutions that I see. And if anybody else has a third solution or a different solution, then please, by all means, put it in the chat. You see, the issue that you have is Northern Ireland's part of the UK, unfortunately. We're still not a united country. So the UK, there's no border there anymore, obviously. So they're coming, you know, when they're leaving the UK, some of them are coming through from Northern Ireland, right? So you got two options. You either, you know, well, you got three. You can get an Irish government with backbone and force the British government to do something about it. But unfortunately, we don't have politicians with a backbone. The second option is to demand that the country is united. That's not go. That wouldn't happen for that take ages anyway. So by that time, then the country is still going to be getting flooded. The third option is the most controversial, but it's the only way that I could see we could stop the flow from Northern Ireland in the short term, but it would have a detrimental effect on the border counties. But you would have to close the border. I mean, you would literally have to put up a physical border like they used to have back in the day, unfortunately, and close the fucking border, right? And that'll stop at least some of the flow, right? And then all we have to worry about is the people that are coming in through the Republic. But that's what we'd have to do. And I don't see that happening in any way, shape, or form, because I know for a fact the people up the north would not tolerate another border. And I don't think the people in the surrounding counties of the south would tolerate that either. But that would be the only way. Right? Unless the government, as they say, abolish the common travel area agreement. You have to do something. Right? But we don't have a government that has a backbone anyway. Right? We need someone in there, Taoiseach, in there to tell fucking, well, it's Keir Stammer now. Listen, fuckface, get your act together, stop them from coming over to Northern Ireland, or there's going to be a fucking problem. Right? Simple as that. Right? We have to start getting hardball with the British fucking government. Right? It's as simple as fucking that. Now, I have British friends, but the bottom line is their government's a load of fucking shit. Get your fucking act together. Stop these pricks from coming into our country, right? It's your responsibility to get into fucking Northern Ireland, and if you don't want to take responsibility for it, then you hand over the 6 fucking counties. Bye bye. Good luck to you. We'll deal with the unionist problem after the fact, right? Because they'll kick off a stink, but who gives a fucking shit? The bottom line is close the border. Right, that way then if the country's united, then we can actually secure the whole country. Obviously, we'd have to spend, because we'd need a lot more fucking navy, wouldn't we, and fucking stuff. But we'd have to do it. We'd have to do it, right? We're not a free for fucking all. This isn't a hotel or a B&B. It's our fucking home. So that's the complex situation that we're in. It's because of Northern Ireland we're in a bit we're fucked, and we don't have Simon Harris is not going to stand up to that muppet across the water. He doesn't have the backbone, right? So this is why I said I got criticised for it, but this is why I said we needed someone with the character profile of Charles J. Haughey, but obviously not with the baggage, with the corruption and all of that. But if we had someone with a personal, a similar personality like Charles J. Haughey as Taoiseach, well, this would be fucking sorted out. Because because the first thing I would do, right, is I would demand the fucking British ambassador come to fucking Dáil Éireann and answer to fucking me why there's people fucking coming, refugees coming from Northern Ireland down here, right? And I'll say, if you don't sort it out, right, whatever you want to be passed in the future with Europe, we're going to veto it, right? We're going to say no. We're going to vote against anything that you want unless you sort out the issue up north. Simple as fucking that, right? But we don't have a Taoiseach like that. Look at him. You seen him there a few weeks back when he was out canvassing with an ice cream in his mouth, right? His own people push him, and the face on him looked like he shit his pants. Fuck's sake. me back. Hold on, I just need to readjust, folks. Oh, oh. Right, that heat patch is doing its trick, but there you go. So I don't know, man. But this is why we need to be doing more here in the Republic. This is why we need to be going into communities. You know, not the whole country's not going to turn up in Dublin for this protest. This is why it's ridiculous. Like, we need to be getting into communities and letting them know what's going on. You know, where some of the migrants are coming from. They're coming from Northern Ireland. They don't. None of our politicians have a backbone. Not one. Right? You get one or two that will speak up the odd time, and everybody raises them, including myself. That's what these politicians in our country need. They need to have that. And that's why, as I said, personality-wise, if we had someone like Charles J. Haughey, personality-wise, then none of this shit would be going down. Remember, he put Margaret Thatcher in her fucking place. Not many people put her in her fucking place, right? And that's the type of fucking character that we need in government, or we need in the nationalist movement. A no-nonsense, you know, person that does not give a shit about what anybody thinks of them and just gets on with the fucking job and does right by the Irish fucking people. We need to be getting tough with these fuckers. And if Europe doesn't like it either, then we could just say to them, well, listen, this is what's going to happen, and we're having a referendum. And if the Irish people vote to get out of Europe, we're leaving. So get your nose out of our business. We're done here. Yeah, we're done. It's not worth giving up our sovereignty and giving up our laws and giving up our people to you mad psychopaths. So we're out of here. Bye-bye, baby. And this is why I couldn't understand nationalists running in Europe. Right? Don't be running in Europe. Right? Fuck Europe. You don't need to be in Europe anyway to get out of Europe. Right? I did a stream a while back where I showed you don't have to actually be in Europe to get out of Europe. I'd put it to the people though, Anne-Marie, you know, because I wouldn't want people thinking, if I was there, I wouldn't want people thinking that I'm doing stuff that they haven't approved. So I'd put it to a referendum, and I would accept the result of the referendum, because that's what you do in a democracy. But I'd make sure that the Irish people have all of the information available, right, to them. I would tell them the benefits of being in Europe, but what are the negatives, right? Because a lot of these things, when they do Europe, they never ever have told you the negatives. Whereas I would say, right, these are the benefits, but these are the negatives. Do you think the negatives outweigh the benefits, or do you think the benefits outweigh the negatives? Right, let's put it to a referendum. But if you're asking me personally, right, while Europe has benefited Ireland in some ways, we have had to give up a lot for those benefits. So for me, Europe hasn't benefited us as a people, no, and as a country. So, you know, as I said, there may be benefits there that people could say, well, if I was to look at it, I don't think the benefits outweigh the negatives. So therefore, I'd have to say it has a negative impact on the country and its people. Right? We don't even control our own laws. When the government want to pass a budget, they have to go to Europe to get the final go-ahead to do it. Our farmers are not even working for themselves anymore, right? they're beholden to Europe, right? Same with our fishermen, right? And then we have people that illegally fish in our waters and everything. And then when we say something about it, we're told to basically shut the fuck up. And this is what we've taken as a people for these last few decades, being under these fucking assholes, right? We only joined Europe because we wanted to be part of a big trade thing between all European countries, and it was a good idea at the time. And it actually was just that model, right? It would have benefited everybody financially, but with no ties to art and, nobody dictating to you. But that's what it's turned into, right? They want this one world government or whatever the fuck they want, right? And they want less of us to control us. So don't forget, there's another pandemic on the way. So I'll be aware when they ask you to lock down. This is your chance now, right? I'm just going to say this now, right? This will tell me if Irish people have grew a backbone, right? When the next scandemic comes along, will they comply, or will Irish people say, we've had enough, and break the rules? Because I can tell you now, I won't be complying with anything. I'm going to go out there and enjoy my fucking life, right? Nobody has the right to tell me that I have to stay at home, right? And I don't care if they put it into law, right? They want to waste taxpayers' money and throw me into Mountjoy or wherever it is. You go a fucking head, because I can tell you, thousands will follow. Thousands will follow. And not because of me, but people are the same as me and will not comply. So if you want to waste you waste taxpayers' money, trust me, there'll be outrage anyway that you're wasting taxpayers' money because someone decided to go on a jog or take a walk on the beach, right? Or because they're not 150 meters or whatever it was from their home, or whatever bullshit you were pushing, right? So we'll see when the next one comes along. Have Irish people learned their lesson? I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that the majority of this country have had enough. It's just a lot don't speak up. So I hope I'm right, because I would be absolutely heartbroken, and I'm not messing. I'll be heartbroken if they fall for it a second time. You know what they say? What is it? Fool me once. What's a shame on you? Fool me twice. Shame on me. No One's Flower said, "Hi Noel, it was good to finally meet you." Yeah, it was lovely to meet a lot of yous. I have to say, Lady Avera as well, and Paul. It was a good day under the circumstances. The rain held off, which was because there was a few speckles, but the rain did hold off. But I love the fact that when we actually went marching, we got the Garda escort, and the Vanguardia was panicking because she didn't know what the hell, and they tried to direct us down certain ways, and we refused. We refused. But that was for COVID-19, and that's the whole thing with that. There's been people that have been exposing that for the last few years, but now the momentum is really starting to pick up with that now. They've been doing leaflet drops, the group that's in charge of it now, and they're starting to do their protests. Now, you see, because that's in the beginning of that, protests there are the right thing to do, but there will come a point then where, protests will get you so far, you get people aware, and then I think once we get there with the COVID stuff, I think it's this government is, well, look, the floodgates are opening. The floodgates are opening, folks. So you know what's gonna come in the next few years. A lot of these people are going to end up in prison for what they did, and trust me, they will. They will. Because I as I said, being there, was a humbling experience. Now, while I'm not jabbed, like my wife is, and that keeps playing in my mind. As I've told you, it's constant. But going there actually helped me, um, because I seen that there were people worse off, and I'm probably lucky right now that my wife is still here. There's a lot of people that have lost people that are not still here, and people that vaccine injured as well. Um, and then I met Ava's grandfather, and that was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking. Um, as I said, the way he spoke about her, she wanted to comply because she was told that she'd be saving Granny and Grandad. And I could see in his eyes, I could see by him, he is absolutely devastated. She did what she was told by the health officials and the government of this country, guys. A little girl, and she was taken. As I said, what they've done here is a crime against humanity. This whole trans ideology with children is also a crime against humanity. These are sick people, folks, we're up against. This is a fight. It actually is the classic good versus evil. I used to laugh when people said that, but they're absolutely true. They're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is. It's good versus evil, and we cannot lose. There's a lot of healing for this country to do after, hopefully, we get our act together and nationalists take over this country. There's a lot of healing to be done. And there's going to be a lot of, well, we're going to have to build a new prison. I mean, they've been threatening to build a new prison. I think we're going to have to build a new prison, but not for the people that you think, but for all the doctors, the nurses, the TV presenters, the politicians, that pushed this. So we're going to need a super prison because, the only way that we can set an example in this country moving forward is that if a politician does something wrong in this country, or it turns out that people were involved in some level of corruption, well, they should pay for that crime and they should see a prison cell. And that'll send a message to future politicians. If you screw up in this country, you're going to jail. Oh, and by the way, the key is getting thrown away. It depends on the crime, of course, but the key will get thrown away. Your assets will be taken. And you will be banned from running public office ever again. You will never be able to enter the political arena whatsoever. And you'll be banned from leaving the country as well, because if you think you can go to a different country then and make some money, well, we're going to make sure that you're not able to leave the country. You will be banned from leaving the country. You don't get to benefit anywhere else. You will suffer for putting the Irish people through the suffering that you put them through. Right? And listen, some people might think that's harsh and it sounds a bit dictatorshipy. It's not. Politicians have to be held to account. All of these doctors and nurses need to be held to account. Right? We can't get sentimental here. The bottom line is that there's a lot of Irish people that are no longer here because of those people. Right? So we've got to set an example. So future politicians, future generations know not to screw up. They know that they have to be on the straight and narrow and put the interests of the Irish people first and the country first. And you're never going to achieve that if you don't put down some sort of marker. So that's where I stand. You know, the bottom line is that I want everybody in this country that harmed this country to pay for what they did. Right? It's as simple as that. And I don't care. Yeah, following orders, exactly. But we hear this, or we were only doing this because we were told. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. You put their interests ahead of the Irish people and this country, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. And then, while you're in jail for that as well, we'll do a bit of digging and obviously investigate, see if you've done anything else dodgy. And we'll just add on to your sentence, because pretty much I say most of the Irish politicians have a bit of dirt on their hands. So it'll be very easy to bump up a few of their prison sentences as well to make sure that they actually never get out and die in prison. So, you know, that's what we're going to need to do. I see Cassie is very frustrated. Well, listen, Cassie, as I said, I'm not in charge. I didn't get voted in. I'm not one of the people out there that everybody is looking to for the answers. But I have offered solutions and I've tried to take things into my own hands, but I've been told no. But I get your frustration because I'm also frustrated. Trust me, I'm also frustrated, and I'm not just mounting off. I've been out there. I'm out there, and I've been at most rallies. Right, I've missed about three. Right, but every other rally I've been at, I was at the COVID rally recently. Right, I'm not just mounting off. I'm out there. Right, I tried to do stuff myself as well, as I said, and I was told no. So I get your frustration because I'm frustrated as well. And I do agree with you. There's a lot of people out there that are mounting off, and talking crap. And that's another frustrating thing because we want to see the people that we elected actually come up with solutions and formulate a plan moving forward. But their plan is, or their solution seems to be, is a protest. And we've seen in the UK, I mean, for the amount of protest that Tommy Robinson has done, look what's happened in the UK Labour's got in. Same with France, same with Germany, same with Belgium. So that's what I've been saying. I agree with you. Rallies aren't working. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And I'm blue in the face saying it, Cassie, to be quite honest with you. I've given up ideas. I've come up with, lots of us have. But as I said, if you're not one of these main people and you try to do something of your own initiative, you're not welcome. You're told no, unfortunately. So I get you. I absolutely get your frustration. I'm frustrated just like you are. I'm sick of all the talk as well. That's what I mean. You go to the protest, we're going to hear the same shite over and over, right? Except this time they'll bring up Clonmel as well, and they'll obviously bring up what happened to two homeless lads, right? But what are you doing? What's the solution to, combat what's going on out there? Do you know what I mean? And that's my frustration because, as I said, the rallies got us to a certain point, but when we got momentum, the referendum, right, we should have used that momentum, but they let it die out, right? Then the local and European elections, we got a little bit more momentum again, right? And then what happens? We wait for a week and a half, and then the protest was called. And we lost that momentum. And the protest is not even started yet. It's not until, well, whatever they've called it for. Right, but I'm not going because it's a waste of time. I'm not telling anybody not to go. Go if you want to go. But the bottom line is you're going to hear the same shit over and over. Right? It's the same thing. People are all going to march to the Garden Remembrance and maybe to the Customs House. But what's the point? You get 10,000 people there. Right, that's fine, great, well done, blah, blah, blah. Strokies our egos, have a point afterwards. Brilliant. Right? But what's the plan? Like, are you going to talk to that crowd and say, right, we want you to get into communities. We want you to set up community events. We want you to, get the nationalist message across, this, that, and the other. Is any of that going to happen? More than likely, no. More than likely, no. It'll be the same shit repeated over and over again. And I'm sick of it just like you are. And then I get criticised because I call this out. But I'm not going to stop calling it out until someone fucking in that movement fucking finally wakes up and says, we need to do something different. I'm not saying radicalise the Irish people either, Shawnee. I get what you're saying, but I'm not even talking about radicalising the Irish people. I'm talking about inspiring the Irish people. I'm talking about getting into communities, setting up community events, handing out leaflets, letting them know there's a better option to Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and all of these other gobshites. That these people don't put you first, right? The nationalist movement will put you first. We will try help you. We'll give your kids the best chance. EU is removing Hungary, but Hungary has it right. Do you know what? I said this even last year when Hungary was doing all the things that they were doing. And I said, you know what would be a great idea if nationalists here actually got in touch with people in that government and brainstormed ideas, went over and actually, got information off them. What works in your country? What can we do? You know what I mean? Strategize. Basically gain some knowledge of Hungary and countries like Poland that have done this. You know what I mean? But again, I'm just a voice on YouTube and stuff, and I do go to all of these things, but the bottom line is that I'm not elected. Nobody's going to listen to me because they've already shown that. So, like you all in this chat, I'm just as frustrated as most of you. And as I said, I get criticised, but I don't care. And I really don't now, to be quite honest with you, because at the end of the day, we got to all band together, because if we don't band together, we've lost, because the left are going to join together. They will. And if anybody thinks that's going to weaken the left, you are absolutely deluded. It's just going to make them stronger, just like it did in France, just like it did in the UK. I mean, come on. It's now or never. It's now or never. It's like we either come up with a viable strategy moving forward, right? Because protest is not a viable strategy. Anyway, look, I could go on all day about this and talk about how frustrated I am and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do that because I'm just I'm just getting very disillusioned now at this stage. I think there's a lot of people like me as well. I've been talking to a few people that are just as disillusioned as I am. And this is what this is doing. So, as I said, good luck to everybody that does go to that protest. But, the bottom line is that, it's the same thing that's been happening in other countries and it hasn't worked for them. And it's certainly not going to work for us. So I don't know what, it's like the left here in this country as well. Like, they see what's going on in Europe with all of these people, but yes, somehow all of them that come here have halos, right? And then you got the right in this country that think that like protesting is going to work when it hasn't worked in other European countries. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. When you look at it that way, it's just absolutely fucking mind-boggling. I'm just blown away. But at least we can celebrate that the Charlemagne Street tent city is gone. Yeah, but it'll be they'll just relocate somewhere else. No one's flower. See, that's the thing. It's not even. I mean, that's not there's no victory there. There's no point in celebrating because those fuckers will find somewhere else to stay, right? And they'll be given new tents. They'll be given everything. So it doesn't matter. And then they'll move to the new location. They'll be left there for a couple of weeks, and then people will start complaining. As again, it's just the same thing repeating with the government as well. It's like I'm living in a loop, right? What'll happen then is then something will happen. The tents will be removed, and then they'll just put fences up, and then they'll move somewhere else. There'll be fences all over this fucking city by the time the government fucking finish. That's no strategy, right? That's no strategy, right? This is the way it should be. The bottom line is this, right? Unfortunately, it's going to affect Irish homeless people as well. But if you're really serious about this, you have to make it illegal to have a tent on the streets of Dublin or anywhere in the country, right? And that's the bottom line. I'm sorry, but might sound harsh, but it's the only way. You have to make it illegal. And if anybody breaks the law, then they get locked up. It's as simple as that. You got to do something, right? Because they're not going to remove them, right? They'll just go somewhere else. They'll just go somewhere else. And remember, these people don't have proper toilet facilities, right? They've been camping outside that canal for the last few weeks. What do you think they've been doing? Where do you think they've been going to the toilet? Right? Now, I know the canal, even growing up as kids, we were always complaining about the canal being filthy and all of this other stuff. But they've been pissing and shitting in that canal, like. So that water is contaminated now with urine and feces. Unbelievable. And the government solution, well, we move them and then we'll put fences up. We'll put fences up. Do you know what? In reality, what should happen, is all of these people, we have plenty of islands on the coast of this country. And we should actually have, none of these encampments should be in Ireland whatsoever on the mainland, right? They should have been put on the islands that the government want to sell. There's the islands that the government own that they could sell, like, right? Why not use those islands and put them on those islands? Then they're not doing any harm to anybody, Eddie. They're all on an island. They're far away until we decide what we're going to do with them. Well, until we get the government out and then we deport them. But, the bottom line is they should never be brought here, right? Remember New York, back in the day when all the Irish immigrants went over there, they would, what was it, Ellis Island? They'd all stop off at Ellis Island. They would have to be checked. They went through all their tests. They got medical, all of that, right before they were even allowed into America. If they had a little bit of sickness, they were refused. Right? Even a cough could ruin your chances of getting into America. Right? And people say that was harsh and all of that. It wasn't the right thing to do. That way, you know, you can, to a certain extent, you can limit the scumbags coming into your country. You're not going to eliminate them all. I mean, as I said, it'd be deadly if we had net zero migration. But in order to do that, you'd have to, like, you know, make life better for your people here so they wouldn't want to live, especially the youth. You know, make them feel worthwhile. You know, when they go through all their education, and then they go to try find a place for themselves and a job. You know, they can get a job, but the job is not, you know, all the money is going on rent. Whereas if we actually made it more affordable for these kids to actually have a home, or give them a leg up for the first couple of years until they get into a position where they're making a decent amount of money. You know what I mean? This is what we should be doing. We, as an Irish government, you should be giving your youth and your people a leg up when they need it. Do you know what I mean? We've got listen. They talk about all that we've got the best engineers and the best nurses and all that. Yeah, true. But we let them all go, and then we bring in cheaper labour, because the doctors and the nurses and the engineers, the money that you're offering them, the Irish people, they won't take it because it's not what their value is. You won't give them what their value is. So you let them go willingly because you know you'll get in people that will actually take that money. And that's disgusting. As I always said, the first thing I ever said on a stream here was, your best life should be in your own country. And when you leave this country, you should be leaving this country to explore the world. Nobody should have to leave their country. So when you leave this country, like, and you want to explore the world, but their best life should be here, and they should always want to come home. And we don't do enough to make people want to come home. Their best life should be here in their home country. And when they do decide to spread their wings and stuff like that, then it should be to explore the world, but, you know, come home at the end of it. Maybe I live in cuckoo land. Maybe I live in some, you know, dream, Carlsberg dream sequence, right? But do you know what? Anything is possible and anything is achievable if you really go for it. I really do believe that if we can convince the people that are here right now to stay, you know, because I hear all of this bullshit, let's bring the Irish people home. Listen, the youth that have left in the last couple of years, yeah, if they want to come home, fine, right? But if you've been out of this country over 20, 30, 40 years, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? You made your choice as far as I'm concerned. What you do then to increase the Irish population is then you encourage people in this country to have bigger families. Remember, in Ireland at one stage, you'd have families of 7, 8, 9, up to 10 kids, right? So, you know, and the reason why I say, you know, especially the Irish that have been away for that long, you know, the 20, 30, 40 maybe years, whatever, they've been assimilated into whatever country they're in. And, you know, we've seen it before. You know, this country is completely different to the country they left. Okay, so, you know, that's where I'm looking at it from that point of view. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these people have made a better life for themselves over there, and good on them. But what we should be doing now is we should be making sure for future generations that they don't want to leave Ireland, that the only time that they leave Ireland is to explore the world. So this is why I don't like so-called Irish Americans getting involved in our business. For the simple fact of the matter is, I just seen a video recently, and it just goes to show the ignorance and the lack of understanding of this country from some Irish Americans, if you want to. I don't class them as Irish. I just class them as American. They're born American with Irish heritage, but it doesn't make them Irish American. The bottom line is this, right? There was an American tourist in a car, right? I think it was a taxi, and she had the green, white, and orange bracelet on her, and she had her window rolled down, and passing her was a parade, right? And she's bopping her head, and she's giving it loads, and she's loving it. What she doesn't realise is it's an Orange Order fucking march, and there she is with her green, white, and fucking orange bloody fucking bracelet on her. She's lucky she didn't get fucking bleeding dragged out of that car, right? And this is why I keep saying, right, and people criticize me for this, but I don't care. This is why I say anybody that doesn't live in this country should keep their nose out of our business, right? They don't know the complexities of the problem. They don't know what our society is actually like, right? Everybody has this ideal or this look of Ireland, which is fucking skewed. Okay, the bottom line is you know absolutely nothing that's going on in this country, and you don't know how it is socially, and you'd be actually shocked most of these if you came over here, right? It's not the Ireland that you all think it is, and we're not the people that you all think we are, right? The majority of the country, and if we're all honest about it, we don't really like Americans, right? We hate when American presidents come over here and claim to be fucking Irish. Fucking Obama tried that trick as well. Obama. Right. We're just sick and tired of it, man. Right? So anybody that doesn't live here, if you've left this country, I'm sorry, you don't get to bitch and complain about it. Right? The people that are here have to deal with it. So we'll deal with their problems because we know what they are. We know what they are. And any Irish American that I hear anyways are, why isn't the Irish rising up and taking on the government? Well, we don't have guns like you do, right? So it's very easy for all you guys that have weapons, right, and go around with assault rifles and all of this other bullshit to say, why isn't the Irish people rising, right? We've got Hurleys, right? That's what we have. Slithers. Right, that's what we have. Right, so what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? We'll be rolled over within a couple of days, for God's sake. So it's easy for outside influences, right, and people that have left this country to stick their nose in and tell us all what to do, right? You people left the country, so leave it to the ones that are here to sort out the mess, and we certainly will sort it out. There'll be no better people to sort it out, right? We will. I agree, Paddy. I agree. I agree with you. Nothing will improve until we get the evil scumbags out of the doll. I agree. But this is, you know, the bottom line is this, is that I just think that we are the only people, the people that actually live here, that are going to sort this problem out. And I don't think it's helpful that people that are thousands of miles away are dictating to our people how we should handle their business, right? It's very easy for Americans who have Irish heritage to tell us to rise against our government. You have guns, we don't. So leave it out, cop on to yourselves, and stay out of our business. I don't care if you have Irish heritage. It does, just because you have Irish heritage doesn't mean that you have the right to stick your nose in our business when you haven't got a clue about this country and its social structure on what's going on in it. Yeah, you might read stuff, right? You might read stuff, but until you're actually here on the ground, right, you will be, I'm telling you now, most of you would be absolutely gobsmacked, right? You would be absolutely gobsmacked if you came over here, and you would leave just as quick, right? The bottom line is we'll sort our shit out, stay out of it, because as far as I'm concerned, it's getting very messy with all of these outside influences coming in and telling us what to do, right? And all it'll take is some fucking idiot out there to listen to one of these gobshites and do something fucking absolutely ridiculous. And then before you know it, then hate speech laws push through, right? We're silenced forever. Exactly, Dan. Exactly. You know, as I said, I come on here, especially here on the other channel. Obviously, yous will get user say, and if someone wants to pick up on what I've said here on Friday, yous are more than welcome to do so. If yous want to offer user 2 cents on it, but this is why I came on. I needed to unload, because the bottom line is we don't have time to be pricking around, right? There's people working against us from every fucking avenue. We need to come together before it's too late. Because I'm not, as I said, I won't go. I won't go down. I will go down fighting. I should say, I will go down fighting, but I shouldn't have to go down fighting. None of us should have to go down fighting. When we should fucking we look at. As I said, we may not be the same people, but there's one thing that we do have, right? Is we still have that fighting spirit in us, right? And we still have, you know, no matter how bad it gets, we'll keep pushing. So I just wish all these Americans would just keep out of our business. The bottom line is the way I look at it is I don't care if you have Irish heritage. You know, this is what annoys me about Irish nationalists as well. I mean, if you're gonna, say that, you know, that people of different heritage but were born here aren't Irish, well, the same should apply to Americans that are claiming heritage. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel on it. You know what I mean? The bottom line is you can't be halfway in and halfway out. That's the way I look at it. So, keep out of our business. You aren't helping the situation, and stop trying to incite our youth. Keep telling you, the bottom line is, as I said, it's very easy for all you Americans at home. Use are all tooled up. Use are all kitted out. It's not the same here, okay? It's not the same here. So to even suggest something like that is absolutely fucking ridiculous and disgusting, in my opinion. Right? There's enough bloodshed in this country. Enough Irish blood has been spilled. Now, if you want to do something about it, then you can get up off these arses in the United States of America, you Americans with Irish heritage, and you come over here and sort out the bullshit then. Right? Let yous do it. Right? See how far yous get. Right? Because you won't be able to use our guns. So come on over here and use fight, because these are all Braveheart. I'm William Wallace. Oh no, nobody's triggered me, mate. Nobody's triggered me. You've come in, obviously you've come in halfway through, but if you watch it, nobody's actually triggered me. I'm just saying, I've just seen, even in spaces as well, Americans, sticking their nose in and talking about revolution and all this other stuff. I spoke about a couple of weeks back. I'm just rehashing it. Nobody's triggered me, no. Actually, nobody's triggered me today because I refuse to be triggered. I said I've been, as I said, the last couple of weeks, I have let things get to me, but I'm not going to be letting things get to me from now on, because the bottom line is it's going to do me no good in the long run. So fuck whatever anybody has to say about me. The bottom line is I'll come on here, I'm a straight shooter, and I'll say what I'm feeling. And if people like it, they like it. And if people don't, well, then that's on them. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. I'm just going to speak my mind and speak what's on my mind. And if people don't like it, then, you know, so be it. Not everybody is going to agree with me. And I see Frankie is in the chat as well. Welcome back, Frankie. So yeah, obviously, you know, I sorted all of that out. No, it just repeats what I said, my piece. Yeah, I mean, I'm just frustrated, you know. I just think, yeah, we're only going to be able to do this for ourselves. Yeah, well, Frankie, you know, as I said, I did try to do things and take things, you know, take the initiative and stuff like that, and I was told no. But you are right, that's how they conquer. And we are divided in this country, unfortunately. That's the problem. We are divided. And unless everybody comes together, then, you know, as you've rightly said yourself there, you know, that's how they conquer us, and that's exactly what they'll do. That's exactly what they'll do. Anyway, look, I will leave it there now. An hour and a half. I've got other bits and pieces to do as well, so we will leave it there. But I am back, obviously, on the other channel, and Frankie was on, and so was Emmanuel earlier on, who was in the chat. They were on. A couple of more people joined us for Get It Off Your Chest. So that comes back Friday. So if anybody wants to come on and get whatever you want to get off your chest, or if you have anything to add to anything I said there, you're more than welcome to let me know what you guys think should happen with the nationalist movement. Should they come together? Should they, you know, should we be doing a lot more than protests? I'd like to hear some opinions from you guys in the chat. I have seen some of you saying, obviously, protests are not working now. Paul, Paul, I've actually documented all of this, but just to fill you in real quickly, I called my own national rally to support the people of Clonmel, and well, I was threatened. A couple of people did videos about me. I was told my help wasn't wanted, I wasn't needed. Now, the person that threatened me apologized. The person that told me that I wasn't needed came to me to try and explain the reasons why. Now, as I said, I understood some of the reasons, but as I said to the person then in my reply, well, this is no time to be paranoid and not to be trusting people. We need to come together. But I did try, and I was told no, and I had to cancel the whole thing. Because if I was told if I go down to Clonmel, the exact words were, if you come down to Clonmel, you'll be kicked back to where you came from. So, you know, but that's water under the bridge anyway, because as I said, you know, your man that did actually make that threat did apologize to me and was sincere. So, you know, they actually got their wires crossed. They actually thought I was a lefty coming down to disrupt the whole thing. So that guy was actually sincere in his apology. As for the other people, well, the bottom line is this. As I said, we're not going to get anywhere if that continues to be the attitude, because the bottom line is Clonmel's still going to be planted. And I wanted to try rally support for the locals down there, because the locals that are there, and there are a few of them, they don't have the whole support of the town. And that was my plan, to go down and show unity with these people and maybe inspire the rest of the community, or some of the community, to come out and support them. So, yeah. Anyway, it's been nice to see so many people in the chat. But look, as I said, I kind of understand where I just want to make this point clear, because I kind of do understand where Clonmel is coming from. But at the same time, my logic is this, and as someone brought up in the chat as well, a lot of Irish movements or revolutions have been defeated because of mistrust, spies, informers, internal and external forces, as I said, working against us. And you think we would have learned from our past, but unfortunately it looks like that we're still kind of in that mindset that if you're not from a certain area, you're an outsider. And that's wrong, because I'm not an outsider. Nobody's an outsider in this country that was born here, right? You can move anywhere in this country, okay? It's our land, everybody, right? It's our country. But the fact that there is this tribalism, if that's what you want to call it, in communities, but that's down to the government and decades of, fracturing their communities. And, it's just disgusting. So, my whole thing was get down and support communities, try and inspire these people, and then do that all over the country, while other people then be setting up the old picnics, the street parties, informing the public, getting the kid. Again, as I said, I know we haven't had much of a summer, but this was the perfect opportunity for nationalists to capitalise and have events all over the country, right, for the kids. And the parents will bring their kids, especially those that can't afford a holiday. And that's how you got the message across. You handed out leaflets and all of this. You had speakers, but not just for that, but you have entertainment for the kids as well. It's not just about the politics. Do you know what I mean? But again, anyway, I've said all I've had to say on it now. So I'll leave it there. My mouth is getting a bit dry as well because I haven't shut up. But I'm going to stop now. But I will be back on Friday. So if you want to join me for the Irish Zone, get it off your chest. Go over and sub to the other. Channel. If you want to come on, remember I do put the link in the chat a half an hour before the stream. So if you want to come on, the link will be pinned to the top of the chat. And then you can come on and give you our 2 cents. And it's the stream is basically for you guys to unload, right? So if there's anything that you want to get off our chest, just like Cassie has done in the chat there, she's got a lot of things off her chest there. She's vented. If there's anybody else that wants to do that, you're more than welcome to come on Fridays and Mondays. We start at 7. We finish at 10, so I can give everybody that wants to come on a chance to come on. Everybody seemed to like the format, bringing a person on one at a time, and I have to say, so do I. I think it was better that way, because for the simple fact is that everybody was able to get their stuff off their chest and stuff. So yeah, Friday, 7 o'clock on the other channel, the Irish Zone. Get it off your chest. So if you haven't subbed, please do and get involved. So listen, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening if you can. Obviously, for anybody that's into football, there's a big match happening tonight. We've got the arrogant English versus the Dutch, and let's hope the Dutch actually beat England. And the only reason why is, right, listen, you know what, I was kind of indifferent this tournament, whether they won it or not. I didn't really give a shit, to be quite honest with you. They'll brag about if they won it, but I didn't really give a shit because I do support the Premier League. I'm a Manchester United fan, so, you know, but I don't support them, but I wouldn't have gave a shit. But I saw their fans after they won their last game, and then last night Spain beat France, as you know, and they were going, oh, so it's going to be a Spain-England final, completely dismissing the Dutch team. And this is why we hate you. And this is why we want your team to lose all the time. Because you can't even go into a tournament and enjoy it, right? He's criticises our players, he's criticises our manager. Well, he's criticising the manager's grant, right? I mean, he's a donkey. But still, he's got you to another semi-final, right? And there you are thinking you already have won the trophy. Now, even if you still get into the final, Spain's going to teach us a lesson and beat us anyway. But I hope to get beaten tonight, because to be quite honest with you, I'd prefer a Dutch and Spanish final over an England-Spain final, to be quite honest with you. But that's the only reason why we want you to lose all the time, because you can't just go to a tournament and enjoy it like we do, right? You have to brag and then, you know, say, oh, well, we've won it because we got the best players in the world and all of this other bullshit. This is why everybody around the world wants you to fail, because you can't just go to a tournament and enjoy it and let be whatever will be sort of thing. Nah, you've already plotted just a route. Even before the tournament started, they plotted their fucking route to the final. That's why we hate you. So come on, the Dutch! Anyway, now the only reason why I want the Dutch to win, because there's a couple of players that might be joining Manchester United, so be very interested to see what happens. Oh geez, that's part of the problem, and it's bread and circus the sport. Who gives a shit? Just ignore it if it's how you feel. I'm just having a little bit of a chat about it, that's all. You know. Anyway, listen, for anybody that is watching, yeah, enjoy the game if you can. For the rest of you that are not watching, obviously you don't give a shit. Enjoy the rest of your night, and whatever you are doing, enjoy it and look after yourselves. And yeah, as I said, great summer weather out there, so enjoy it, you know, get the suntan lotion out and all of that, you know. Apparently June was the hottest month on record. Yeah, was me arse. Anyway, I'll see you later. Have a good one, and yeah, bye.